What is up, guys? Kit here of Burn One for the Shadowverse Evolve channel, joined here with Dean as always.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
All right, we're back with another. I don't know what we're gonna name this, but we have another jumping off point for you for people getting into Shadowverse for the first, or Shadowverse Evolve, that is, for the first time. Looking at decks they can build after opening their case of cards, because we all know everyone bought a case. And they want
Oh,
they want
Jesus.
to they want to play Havencraft. We got a
Oh,
list for you. Well, more like Dean's got a list for you. He's
I
has more experience with this list than I do.
so this was a list from Nala. It's a Japanese guy who makes fantastic content. This is a good way to look at the meta going forward. If you like to watch content in different languages, and I just love this list. It is so focused on control. We're going to be able to grind out anyone as long as we can make it to turn 5, and we have a lot of tools to get us there. So let's get right into it. Let's start off with the creatures in the deck. So we're going to start off with the Prism Priestess. It's 1 mana, 1/1. But what's important is you can evolve it for 2, and we play 3 of the evolve as well. And on evolve, we get to search our deck for any amulet. That's insane. It's going to be allow us to grab important cards when we need them. Definitely ups the consistency of our deck and is a big draw to playing this. And we'll go over the amulets so we can talk about those later. But Guardian Nun, we're going to play this as a one of. It's just kind of to help round out the evolved deck, because if you know, you can only play 3 copies of a card, but your evolved deck is 10. So it's just the best evolve we can play. On play, it gets +1 health if you have an amulet, and then when you evolve it, you get 2 health. So it's a good way to just heal a little bit. It's not like a fantastic card. It's just like the 40th card in the deck.
All
We're
right.
going to play 3 Priest of the Cudgel. If you know this guy from Digital, you know that Banish is the strongest form of removal. 3 mana, evolve for 1, and on evolve, you banish an enemy creature with 3 or less health. Just extremely powerful removal. You get to dodge their on death effects. They can't recur the card ever. So, and then we get to play 3 of the Cruel Priestess. 3 mana. It's 4 mana, 3/3. On play, you get to select a 5 mana or lower amulet in your grave and just put it onto the board, which is going to be very important because we play a very powerful 5 mana amulet that our opponent may be trying to target down. One of the strongest board clears in the game is Jeanne d'Arc. We play 3 of it. It's a, what is it, 4 mana, 3/4?
Yep.
And you can evolve it on first on play, 2 damage all enemy followers. Board wipe built into a creature, and then when we evolve it for 2, we see that it deals 2 damage to all enemy followers again, and all of your other followers get 2 extra health. So it's going to buff your board, make your board more resilient, while also, clearing the enemy board for 4. This card is actually just insane, extremely powerful. We're playing 2 Moon Almirage. This is the thing. I can understand if you want to play Lucifer over this. It's just 4/5 for 5, and it has Storm. That's what's important. It's able to hit face. With Strike, if it's attacking a follower, it gets +2 attack, and at the end of the turn, it gets +2 health back. So health continues to grow, and it gets stronger when it fights creatures. It's not bad as removal, but mainly you're using this to hit face for 4. I think we're going to play 2 Curates, 5 mana, 5/5,
6 mana.
6 mana, 5/5. But on play, you're going to heal 5, draw a card. This is going to be, after you've stabilized a little bit, this is just give you a lot of health at once while also drawing a card deeper into the deck. Now, here's some of our spells. We got a couple battle tricks. Dark Offering is one of them. It's a 1 mana quick. Choose a card on your board, pop it, and add 3 to your leader's health and draw a card. So the idea is here, they attack a card on your board because we're going to have a lot of cards with Ward. And then you're able to sack your card with Ward, and then it blanks their attack, because like after you declare an attack, if the creature you're attacking is removed, the attack fizzles. So it's just a good way to be able to control and cantrip. 2 Acolyte's Light, you choose a enemy follower, banish it, and then heal 2. Just removal, and once again, banish is the strongest form of removal in the game. So 2 Themis Decree, destroys all followers. Board wipe your opponent, reset the parity of the game. Now onto our amulets. We're going to play 3 Hair of Illusion. It's a 0 mana amulet. What's important about this one, it does not come in tapped. You can either just sack it to tap a you sack it to tap an enemy follower,
Yep.
or you can pay 10, tap it, banish all followers on the board. So this
Yeah.
is an insane control tool in the late game, and in the mid game, it helps, like, because sometimes you can choose not to attack with a card because you can only attack tapped creatures. You can just force their cards to be tapped. So it's just all around a good card.
It being 0 cost too is pretty crucial for the deck, right?
Because it also will combo with a card that we'll see later. The actual thing that makes this deck work. We have 2 Pinion Prayers. This is a 1 mana amulet that has pay 1, sack this, summon a 2/1 with Storm. Or is it 2/2 with Storm?
It's 2/2.
2/2 with Storm.
Yep, the Holy Falcon.
It was important about this card. It also does not come in tapped, which some of the amulets. The mechanic with the amulets is in order to replicate like the countdown mechanic. Some of the amulets will come into play tapped, so you have to wait a turn to use them. So the next one will be Sacred Plea. This is a 1 mana amulet. You can tap sack it and draw a card, or you can pay 2 mana, tap sack, draw 2 cards. Usually, because you don't generate a ton of hand with this deck, I try to get the 2 mana one off. Sometimes it's a little rough, but I prefer the 2 mana activation on this. We have 3 Beastly Vows. This card enters the battlefield tapped, as we see, and then you can pay 1 mana, sack it to summon a Holy Flame Tiger, which is a 4/4 with Rush. Oh, you have to tap and then sack, so it's important to note that you do have to tap it, so you can't just use the first turn it's played.
Yep.
And that's a 2 mana card, right?
Yes.
Okay. We have Death Sentence, which is a 3 mana card. I remember this one. It comes into play tapped, and I guess something important to note is when it says come into play, this includes if it comes into play from grave or anywhere. So as soon as it hits the board, it taps itself. And it has tap it, sack it, choose an enemy follower, or destroy it. So it's basically like a free delayed removal. It's like removal that lingers on the board. Very powerful effect, and especially combos well with some of our later cards. So we have Dual Flame, which I believe is this one 4 mana.
Yeah,
on
4
play.
mana.
On play, you get the 4/4 with Rush, and then you can pay 2, tap sack.
Yep.
And you get another 4/4 with Rush. So the idea is that this generates 2 bodies on a single card, generates 8 mana, 8/8 worth of stats for 6. Just all in all, pretty solid card. But these amulets would be nothing without this last card. The Holy Sentinel, 5 mana, once per turn. When an amulet leaves your board, is it during your turn? Yeah, during your turn, once per turn. When an amulet leaves your board, you get to summon one of those 4/4s with Rush, but it also gets Ward. So once this thing hits the board and you're able to combo it with the Hair of Illusions, or maybe a Death Sentence you left on a previous turn, you're able to just start generating the tigers. And then what's important is it's 5 mana, so that means the Cruel Priestess is able to pull it out of the grave if it gets hit with removal.
Oh, wait.
Left of Jean.
Yep. There we go.
The Cruel Priestess is going to be able to pull that card out of the grave. So it's like you're effectively playing 5 copies of it. This is the most important card to grab off of the Prism Priestess if you do not have it. Just because it is... Everything else is just filler, let's be honest. If you get one of this out, your game's going good. If you have 2 of it out, you can take anybody to like the end of the game. It's very hard to push through 2 4/4s a turn with Ward, and you just kind of snowball from there. But yeah, I think this is my favorite deck because I am a filthy control player.
Yeah, I've played against this a few times. We have a video on the channel. It is a very silly deck. Like once it starts going off, you get so much value off of every amulet. It just gets really, really hard to like contest the board and close out games as long as they have Holy Sentinel on the board. And if they ever get 2 on the board, you feel like the game is almost unwinnable at that point. So
And what's I mean, because like sometimes the problem is definitely this early game and getting to that Holy Sentinel and having the board set up. But once you do, that's when the curate comes in and it completely seals the game. Once you drop the curate and you heal that 5, I swear it's like the game goes from, like you could be losing and your opponent would be like, oh man, I just got to get through the wards, have this really good turn, and then suddenly 5 extra health on top of the wards. And then it just usually becomes a little too much. And I just love this play style here. It's like super control-y. Just got to get through those first couple turns.
yep, that's how it is with most control decks. And at the end of the day, you wait for that big payoff when you can start outgrinding your opponent. So I guess anything else to add for this listing?
I mean, there's definitely some things you could change around. I think the Ralmia the Ralmia could be cut for like Lucifers if you really want, and then you could like cut the Guardian Nun. There's definitely like things you can play around with the list. So yeah, definitely feel free to. And who knows? Like this list is probably not perfect, but it's definitely like the shell that I really enjoy. So hope that some of you guys enjoy it too.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. Like I said, I'm not sure what we're going to end up calling this in the end, but this is a good jumping off point if you want to get into Havencraft and want to play a little bit more control. This list has already been somewhat tested, but of course you can expand off of it more, and let us know what changes you've made in the comments below if you like playing this. And if you've played this before and have tips for everyone, go ahead and leave those in the comment as well, so everyone can get better at this game right from the get-go, and we can just grow as a community. Other than that, we'll see you guys in our next video. Later.
See you.